Hello everyone, my name is Spencer and I'm here to teach you English. I'm back today with another video that is perfect for intermediate level learners. However, it's also great for advanced learners because the vocabulary you will learn today is intermediate level. But the way that we will learn it is through prefixes. And prefixes are a great way to study vocabulary because you can guess the meaning of new and even more advanced words. So if you are unfamiliar with prefixes, then make sure you watch this video. It will be very helpful. In this video, you will learn 20 intermediate vocabulary words that all have prefixes that mean not. Make sure you watch to the end, like and subscribe, and let's begin. The first prefix today that means not is in. I-N, in. So I will introduce 3 words with this prefix that you should know. The first is insecure. Insecure. This is an adjective, and you're probably familiar with the first meaning. It means not confident, lacking confidence. She is insecure about her looks. She is insecure about her looks. But the second meaning is more physical. It means unstable, so it might break easily. The bridge is insecure and could collapse at any moment. The bridge is insecure and could collapse at any moment. Next is inability. Inability. This is a noun, and it's the state of being unable to do something. Now this one you have to be careful with because there is an adjective, but the adjective is not enable. That is a long, old-fashioned way that people used to say, but now we only say unable. So the noun is inability, inability. The adjective, unable, unable. So you could say to be unable to do something. But let's see it with the noun. He has an inability to accept opinions different from his own. He has an inability to accept opinions different from his own. Lastly, for in is inadequate. Inadequate. This is an adjective and it means lacking, not enough. With inadequate, you could be talking about anything. Money, food, time. It's used a lot with resources. We should make more food. This looks inadequate for our guests. We should make more food. This looks inadequate for our guests. The next prefix is actually related to in, but it is ill. I-L, ill. So they are related. It becomes ill before the letter L. So that means the first letter after the prefix, if it's an L, then it's not in, it becomes ill. I'll introduce 3 words with this one as well. First is illegal. Illegal. This is an adjective, and it means breaking the law. So it's not legal. Not is that prefix, not legal. So you can guess the antonym would be legal. You take out the prefix. So you can see why prefixes are really useful to know. Nowadays, smoking in many public places is illegal. Nowadays, smoking in many public places is illegal. Next is illogical. Illogical. This is an adjective. It means not logical. So the antonym is logical. So it means it doesn't make sense. It doesn't follow logic. He has an illogical fear of black cats. He has an illogical fear of black cats. Lastly, illegible. Illegible. This is an adjective. I think this word will be new for most of you if you're at the intermediate level. Illegible means it's not easy to read it and understand it. So it's used a lot with handwriting and penmanship. So you could say that somebody's messy handwriting is illegible. There's a stereotype in the United States that doctors have illegible penmanship. So if they handwrite prescription forms instead of electronic forms, then most often they seem to have illegible, terrible handwriting. Anyway, it's just a stereotype, but it's kind of a weird, funny one. It's a stereotype that many doctors have illegible penmanship. It's a stereotype that many doctors have illegible penmanship. Moving on to the next prefix. This is im. I-M, im. So you can probably guess this is also related to in, but it changes to im, I-M, before B, M, and P. And this one is almost exactly the same. It means not, but it can also mean opposite of. So keep that in mind. An easy one to begin is impossible. Impossible. This is an adjective and it means not possible. Or you could say the opposite of possible. So it's not able to be done. This puzzle is really impossible to figure out. I give up. This puzzle is really impossible to figure out. I give up. Those are the easy meanings. Now, to upgrade your vocabulary, there's another way to use impossible. You can call a person impossible. You can say, you're being impossible. You're being impossible. This means that they're not being cooperative. They're not cooperating or compromising. So maybe they're being a little selfish and they don't care about what you want, only what they want. The next word, that's pretty easy, but you should know it if you're an intermediate learner. Impolite. Impolite. This is an adjective, so it means not polite or the opposite of polite. It means lacking manners, right? Instead of impolite, you could also say rude, but impolite has that root word polite, so it will probably be easier to remember. It's very impolite to ignore someone when they greet you. It's very impolite to ignore someone when they greet you. The next is imbalance. Imbalance. Be careful, this is not in balance. Imbalance. A lot of people pronounce this with an N sound. It kind of blends together. Imbalance. It's a noun and it means things are not where they should be. So they are lacking balance. They're not balanced. They're not equal to each other or proportionate. This word is good to know because it's especially used a lot in medicine. So you can have a mineral imbalance. That means your minerals are not where they should be. Or you could have a hormonal imbalance. Let's see a sentence with that. The doctor diagnosed me with a hormonal imbalance. The doctor diagnosed me with a hormonal imbalance. And lastly, to finish a kind of easy one, impatient. Impatient. Again, be careful, this is not impatient, impatient. Pronunciation is important. It is an adjective and it means not patient or the opposite of patient. So it means you don't really like to wait. I'm very impatient when it comes to waiting for someone to meet me. I'm very impatient when it comes to waiting for someone to meet me. And the last prefix that starts with I today, I-R, So this is related to in, but this comes before words, root words, that start with the letter R. For instance, irregular, irregular. This is an adjective, and it is actually a quite versatile adjective. You can use it to talk about time, which means it's not happening at regular times. It's random. Irregular exercise is better than none at all. Irregular exercise is better than none at all. You can also use it to talk about the shape or the structure. In that case, it means that it's not balanced or not even. Everyone's features are at least slightly irregular. Everyone's features are at least slightly irregular. And lastly, this is probably a new one. You can use it to talk about rules. So if some action is irregular, it's illegal. It's not following the law. The CEO made some irregular financial deals. The CEO made some irregular financial deals. Next is an easy one, irresponsible. Irresponsible. This is an adjective, so it means not being responsible. It's irresponsible to text and drive. It's irresponsible to text and drive. Lastly, for irresistible. Irresistible. This is an adjective. This is a great adjective. It means you cannot resist that thing or person. They're so attractive. So for instance, all the baked goods look irresistible. I can't pick just one. All the baked goods look so irresistible. I can't pick just one. So this means they look so delicious. So it's a certain kind of attractiveness. Moving on from the I prefixes, we're moving to miss. M-I-S, miss. Now this means not, but it especially means wrong. So you probably already know the word mistake. Mistake. So this is a noun. That's the easy version. So if you want to use the noun in an expression, to make a mistake. To make a mistake. It means to do something wrong. It's normal to make mistakes as you learn. It's normal to make mistakes as you learn. However, there's another meaning that's a kind of a higher level way to use it. It's an intermediate level. To mistake A for B. To mistake A for B. I mistook the stranger for my acquaintance. I mistook the stranger for my acquaintance. Notice past tense is mistook. Mistook. So here, I saw a stranger and I thought they were my acquaintance. I thought it was somebody I knew, but I was wrong. So I mistook A for B. Another vocabulary word you must know at the intermediate level, misunderstand. Misunderstand. This is a verb. So to misunderstand means to not understand correctly. So you were wrong in the way that you understood something. I'm sorry, I think I misunderstood you. Can you explain again? I'm sorry, I think I misunderstood you. Can you explain again? But you can use it as an adjective, misunderstood. Misunderstood. That is also the past tense of the verb. However, used as an adjective, if you say, I'm misunderstood, for instance, it means you feel people understand you incorrectly. So they're wrong about what they think about you. She felt misunderstood from a young age. She felt misunderstood from a young age. And a word that's easy, but it will make you sound like an advanced speaker. Mishear. Mishear. This is a verb, and now that you know the prefix miss, meaning wrong, you can look at the root word, hear. I'm sure you know that word. So it looks easy, but this is actually kind of an advanced word to use. So mishear means you hear incorrectly. You're wrong about what you hear. I misheard what the lecturer said, and I had to ask my classmate after class. I misheard what the lecturer said, and I had to ask my classmate after class. Lastly, for misbehave. Misbehave. So this is a verb, and it means behaving wrongly. So bad behavior. Remember, we talked about a word before this that means bad behavior. Do you remember it? Yes, it was impolite. Impolite. So somebody who is misbehaving is also probably being impolite to other people. The puppy misbehaved and chewed my shoes. The puppy misbehaved and chewed my shoes. And the last prefix for today is dis. D-I-S. Dis. So this means not, but it also means opposite of. So in this way, it's similar to the prefix in. Remember, that also means the opposite of. An easy word to start, disconnect. Disconnect. This is a verb, and it means to break the connection. So this is a great word to know nowadays when we're all using Zoom and video chats with people. So if for some reason the connection isn't good, you could say this word. For instance, you could say, I think we got disconnected. I couldn't hear you. I think we got disconnected. I couldn't hear you. Next, disqualify. Disqualify. This is a verb, and it's great to know if you follow any news about politics or about sports, especially, because it means to declare that someone cannot compete in something because they broke some rule. So it's used a lot when people are trying to run for office in politics, and also when they are an athlete in some kind of competition, and also just when you're trying to join an activity of any kind. The use of steroids, also known as doping, disqualifies athletes in the Olympics. The use of steroids, also known as doping, disqualifies athletes in the Olympics. And lastly today, let's finish on kind of an easier one, dishonest. Dishonest. So this is an adjective and it means the opposite of honest, not honest. So telling lies, telling fibs. There's nothing I detest more than a dishonest person. There's nothing I detest more than a dishonest person. That's the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching to the end. I hope it was helpful and now you feel more comfortable using these intermediate level vocabulary words, and also you feel more comfortable with prefixes, so you can go on to learn even more advanced words with the help of these prefixes. Again, thanks for watching to the end. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!